Hello all, very good morning. Thanks for joining the session. Let me share my screen. Let me share my screen and then let us see course roadmap, course structure, course plan, and then the job opportunities with this Devops with AWS course. Job scope, job roles, all these things let us discuss during our demos. So today is the demo 1. So date 28 July 2022. The course is DevOps with AWS. So that means whatever the DevOps activities we are doing, right, we will do. I will explain what the DevOps activities that we will do. I will explain. But whatever the DevOps activities we will do, those activities we will do on the AWS cloud. So that is the reason the course has been named as DevOps with AWS. And course duration, course duration is 4 months. Earlier batch I said 3 months, but it was not completed in 3 months. It is still continuing. So that is the reason to complete this DevOps with AWS this time, given the time as like 4 months. So 4 months will take minimum will take, because we will do a industry standard applications automation using this DevOps. So industry standard applications, we will do an automation using this DevOps with the AWS. So that itself causes to learn a lot of DevOps tools to practice, and then to make them to be include to deploy the or automate the industry standard applications. Don't worry, I believe you don't know anything about the DevOps. That is what my mindset. So whoever are attending now, you don't know anything. You are just now passed out from the college is what I'm assuming. That is what my mindset. So with that, I will take this course to the proficient level. So from the ground level or bare zero, from the ground level or the bare zero to professional level, I'll take you to the professional level through this course. So for that, minimum 4 months is required for me. And then one moment, guys. Sorry. And then fee is 12k INR. Fee is 12k INR. With this fees, what you will get is the recorded videos. Recorded videos which are valid for 8 months. That means your course is 4 months, and plus 4 months the recordings will be valid. This I will come back. 6 to 8 months for sure will be available, the recorded videos. And then you will get a soft copy of the material. You will get the soft copy of the material. So the soft copy of the material is like this. So you'll get all these notes. So all these notes you'll get for AWS, for Linux, and all these notes as a PDF and as a Word document you will get through the Google Classroom. So the documents I will maintain in the Google Classroom like this. For example, if you can see this DevOps one. So here is the uh, documents, daily worksheets, and our script files, interview guidance sessions, whatever we're gonna do. So those are all we will maintain in this classroom. And the Telegram link also will be created for you, and then keep in this classroom so that you can join here and then have a direct communication with me. Any questions anytime, if you got anything, you just ping me in this Telegram. That is the communication channel between you and me. And how you will be joined here? So you will be joined here through the link, whatever I have to send, or I will add your email address, so that you will get one confirmation email. As soon as you will confirm your email, then you will be added here as a student to access the daily classwork. So recordings will be uploaded to directly your drive, like Gmail drive. Better while you are registering, give the Gmail, because the team is easily can upload the videos to your Gmail drive, and then the soft copy of the material you will get it using the Google Classroom. So this I'm just explaining how the course has been planned and then how it will be executed. Then I'll go to the course content section. Just give me a moment of time. Okay, soft copy of the material will be provided, and this soft copy of the material will be downloadable, right? And then the prerequisite for this course to learn is the Linux. Linux is the prerequisite. Honestly speaking, Linux required to be known, but this Linux also we will explain. We will first start with the Linux. The guys who don't know the Linux, don't worry. So we can say prerequisite is nothing, but in reality, this is not correct. We required the Linux as a prerequisite, but this Linux, I'll explain the Linux to start the DevOps within 3 weeks. So 3 weeks will spent on the understanding this Linux. 3 weeks we will spend on understanding the Linux. And once you got the Linux understanding, then we will start our DevOps tools usage. And in your day-to-day life, you will use the Linux operating system only. So going forward, like shell scripting and other information, I'll explain what to be covered in the Linux and all. But going forward, as our day-to-day work will be on the Linux machines only. So within these 4 months, you will be get familiarized well on this Linux, because it is our day-to-day activity. On Linux, we will work day to day. So you will be get familiarized within this 4 months. Very good professional experience you will get on the Linux in this 4 months, like how to write the shell scripting and all. If you can see, I will showcase you one simple shell scripting, how it is easy. See this? This is a simple shell scripting file. No coding, nothing. No coding, nothing. Just it is a information that we are verbally writing here, right? Nothing, no coding, just a syntax. Just we need to just follow a syntax, no coding. So prerequisite is Linux, but this Linux I will explain yeah, 3 weeks, initial 3 weeks. I'll explain the Linux, and then we will start this DevOps tools execution, right? So that is about this prerequisite. And also there is one more note. No coding, no coding will be there. No coding will be there. No programming language not required. No programming language, meaning no need to no need to have any programming language knowledge. Nothing. No need to have any programming language. So the specialty of the DevOps is what, DevOps can be learned by anyone. Like DevOps can be learned by the non-technical persons. For example, uh, a few of the members will work in the non-technical area, like as a BPOs, or maybe like as one sales executives, maybe like as some medical reps, or maybe whatever your profession is currently. But if you would like to come to the IT professional, IT career, then the best course that you can start with is the DevOps, because this is a very easy course to learn. Only we will have the tools, and that tools also we will configure mostly. The configurations we will use mostly using these tools, right? So prerequisite is Linux, but don't worry, that Linux also we will cover. So I'm writing here no prerequisite, no prerequisites, but this is not the right word I'm saying. Prerequisite is required. Prerequisite is Linux. So no prerequisites, but Linux is required. So just let me write it. So what you will do, did you uh, do you know what you will do throughout this DevOps with AWS session? Let me show you something here. See this? This is the AWS console in the Mumbai region. I'm just opening the instances. Just to see these instances, what you are able to observe. See these instances, what you are able to observe. Kubernetes master, Kubernetes worker, Kubernetes worker 2, Sonar Cube, Jenkins master, Jenkins worker, Docker, right? And then what? ELK server, and then Ansible engine, Ansible controller server, and then the uh, EKSTL machine, and then the Linux machine, Linux practice machine, and then the JFrog Artifactory. What do you understand from this one? I'm able to see someone is asking the question like, after completion of this course, shall we put 2 to 3 years of experience? Not only 2 to 3 years of experience. If your certificates support, you can show 6 years, 7 years experience as well. Minimum 5 years you can showcase if your certificate supports you. It is not an overconfidence, but this is what my experience I have seen in real time. The guys with the 5 plus years, 6 plus years, how much knowledge they have right now in the industry on the DevOps tools with the AWS cloud. Based on that, I'm confidently saying the course, whatever you will, get this DevOps with AWS after completion of it. If you thoroughly follow me, if you practice, if you practice along with the classes I'm saying, your confidence level is an equivalent to 5 years experience engineer confidence level, because the work we do here is exactly equivalent to your real time. So when you go to your real work, you never feel as you are in the real environment. You never sorry, you never feel like, as you are not in real environment. When you go to your workplace, you will feel, oh, these are all the things I already know because I already have done. So we gonna do throughout this session, we gonna do the 5 projects. Those projects are 5 different versatile, meaning 5 different languages, 5 different technologies, 5 different applications. So your exposure will be on. Tomorrow maybe you went to some startup company, they are using the Node.js as their backend server, and then the AngularJS as their front end. Assume the case. And you need to automate that application using the DevOps activities. Now you need to know how the Node.js is. You need to know how the Angular is, isn't it? So, but once you practice this course that you will already do here, so it is very easier for you when you go to the real environment. And just believe me, most of the projects will be on Java. 60% of the projects, most of the projects, 60% of the projects are on Java. and rest of the 40% are in different technical stack. So you guys have to know how to automate the Java projects. And mostly nowadays, everyone is following the microservices architecture. So when the microservices architecture is there, the interviewers, nowadays the interviewers are asking what are microservices and how you will automate the microservices deployment using the DevOps activities. So this is the famous question that the interviewers are asking. If you can see this, if you can see this, the diagram, right? So this is one pipeline you have to create for the UX or UI team, and there is accounts microservice, there is a cards microservice, loans microservice, and then UI application. Each and every microservice you have to write one pipeline, right? And then you have to automate the this microservices deployment. Maybe each and every microservices may be connecting to different databases. So you have to know how to configure this pipeline to be automate the each and every microservice. So during our course, during our course, I'll explain what are the microservices, the concept of microservices, and also we will deploy the microservices. We will automate the microservices. If you can see this department service, doctor service, you can see here, na? These are all, these two are microservices. So these two microservices we will deploy so that you will get an idea how to deploy or how to automate the microservices as right. So yeah, I'll answer all your questions, folks. I'll answer all your questions. Just let me focus on what I would like to convey. Then definitely I will spend a very good enough time to read your chat messages and then answer your questions. Huh? Right. So no need to learn any programming language. The DevOps engineers no need to know any programming language. I understood your question, sir. You said Node.js application we need to automate, AngularJS application we need to automate, Java application we need to automate. So do we need to learn all these technologies? No, it is not possible and even not required. Then how you will automate it? How you will automate the Node.js without knowing the Node.js, how you will automate the Java projects without knowing the Java project, how you will automate the Angular without knowing the Angular, right? How you will do that? So that is what we will see here. No required. So with the help of the developer, with the help of the developer, you will do the automation of such projects. That is the reason DevOps is a culture. DevOps is a culture of collaborating, culture of collaborating with the various teams. What is DevOps? DevOps is a culture of culture of establishing the collaboration with various teams. That means what? Being a DevOps engineer, you will go to developer, talk to him, take the help from him, you sit together and then complete this pipeline, right? Complete this DevOps CI/CD pipeline. Again, I will explain what is CI, what is CD, what is pipeline. All these things I will explain. But what I'm saying is, you will, you will, I will use a word here called deploy. So just assume here deploy meaning like you went to Play Store, right? In your mobile, you will go to Play Store and then type for a application. Like for example, if you want to see the your PF balance, you will type EPF application and then you will get the application in your Play Store, isn't it? Assume that is what the deployment already deployed, already available for you, correct? So you guys also have to deploy the various types of projects automatically. Automation you have to do. So how we need to do automation, how we will do and all, I'll explain. Okay, so how, that is what our course actually. Right. Now, Linux 3 weeks I spent, right? Linux plus shell scripting will come here. So shell scripting is required, but that shell scripting also how to write it is very easy. Any non IT background guy also can easily write this shell script. I'll make sure you guys will have a proper understanding on this. Don't worry about it. But shell scripting is required because if you can see we will write the shell scripts. If you can, I just have shown right this jfrog.sh. This is the shell script. So what is this lines? How many lines? See this? We can write a so big shell script file as well, and a small scripts files as well, and then execute them. But scripting is required. So don't panic. Scripting, how do we write the script files and all? I'll explain. But my intention is not to really panic you, but my intention is to make sure that you guys have to realize what exactly we will do in real time. It is not like hello world applications, Tata bye bye applications. No, enterprise applications, complex applications we will deploy in our throughout DevOps course with the AWS, right? Probably you got some primary understanding of what we will do. However, now no coding is required. No coding is required. No need to have any programming language. No need to have any programming language, and then no need to have any coding experience as well, right? So required only the Linux. Only Linux with shell scripting is required. This is also we will spend 3 weeks of good enough time to go with the DevOps with AWS sessions. And these 3 weeks, entire Linux will be completed? No, it is not completed. But these 3 weeks, the basics of the Linux is completed to start our DevOps sessions. And while we are working with our DevOps tools in our day-to-day time, this DevOps with AWS complete infrastructure is on the Linux only. So you will learn the Linux concepts while we are working. I'll explain what Linux concept we will use where and then how to use and all. While working, you will learn it. That is more important for us, right? So this is about the course structure and all. So soft copy of the material will be given and experience level that's up to you. I said minimum 5 years, maximum 5 years, or minimum 5 years I can say as per my experience and then my confidence. But I can say by considering you guys, so maximum 5 years you can show. You can you can put up, but your document should have to be support properly, genuinely, isn't it? So then you will meaning what I mean to say is that DevOps course, whatever you're gonna learn here, will give you an equivalent knowledge of a 5 years experience guy who is working on the DevOps, right? However, now what is the roadmap? What is the roadmap for learning this DevOps with AWS course within this 4 months? Okay, for other batches, I started with the DevOps. I started with the DevOps for other batches, but for this batch, I will start with the AWS. Why I have changed the pattern? I'll explain. 5 years of experience, knowledge. Please don't misunderstand it. 5 years of experience, knowledge. Knowledge is different. Knowledge is different. Experience is different. Implementation is different. So, with this course, you will get a knowledge equivalent to a guy who is having the 5 years of experience. Assume who is started his K 2007 now, how much knowledge or experience he will also you will get if you properly follow me in this course is what my intention. Got it? Huh? Don't misunderstand it. There is a lot of difference. Yes, yes. However, now let us see the roadmap, how we will start it. So earlier I was started with the DevOps tools, but now I will start first with the AWS. Let us start with DevOps tools. Why? why you are doing like this, sir? Why you are doing like this, right? So a couple of issues we were faced. If since 2015, 16, 17, from that era only, mostly from 2017, lot of changes happened in the IT industries. Lot of changes. Microservices architecture has been introduced. With the microservices architecture, the entire IT world has been changed. So there is a lot of boom got for this cloud services with the just introduction of this microservices architecture. However, 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 what is the cloud and what is the need of going to this cloud? And before this cloud, how the applications will be maintained or how the applications will be managed. There were the on-premise servers, there was the data centers, there were the did you remember in the maybe if any one of you guys are already like 2012, 13, that era, if you go to any institute, you might have seen a big server there, right? You might have seen a big server there. Are they maintain one server room separately? Isn't it? But nowadays, no need to maintain such huge servers. No need to waste our office space to maintain that server. No need to purchase one separate AC to cool that servers. No, not required. Nowadays, everything we can keep in our cloud. But let us understand how we migrated to cloud, meaning how we are moving to the cloud. What is the things that forces us to move to the cloud? So let us understand first on-premise infrastructure. Then let us understand the data centers. Then let us understand the cloud concept. So this is what we will discuss during this cloud computing session. Then we'll discuss about the uh, introduction to AWS. So now by this section 1, we got a clear understanding on cloud computing. What is cloud computing? And before the cloud like AWS, Azure, Google Cloud, or DigitalOcean, or Alibaba, or Heroku, or any other clouds, before any other clouds, how the situation was and how the applications were being maintained. So you will get to know here clearly. Now, now if you got a clear understanding of the cloud computing, then we will go for choosing that is AWS. Why we will choose this one cloud? There is a lot of discussion we will use. Already 52 percentage of the market share has been occupied by this AWS. 52 percentage of the market share in the sense what? Overall world, 52 overall the world, if the 100 companies are there, 52 companies were already using this AWS as per the calculations in the 2021, as per the reports in the 2021. Maybe by the reports of the 2022, maybe that grown to 55 percentage, 56 percentage probably. So what advantage we will get if the AWS will be used by the most of the companies? Then they will look for the AWS resources, isn't it? Who have the experience on the AWS, they will explicitly look up for those guys only. Meaning majority of the companies, if they use AWS, majority of the companies will look for the AWS engineers. So jobs will be more for us. That is the reason we have to go with this AWS than the Azure and then than the GCP. So after AWS, the most using cloud is the GCP, Google Cloud Platform. And in future, it may be a toughest competitor for the AWS as well. So if you are interested, after completion of AWS, if you would like to add one more cloud to your resume, go for GCP. Definitely down the line in 2 to 3 years, GCP will get a very good boom for sure. However, so we will discuss about what is AWS, why we need to go for AWS, and what are all the other competitors for AWS. So how to subscribe for an AWS, as a business user, as a personal user, as an organization, how we will subscribe. Always we will subscribe as a personal user because you are learning the course, right? So you will be subscribed as a personal user because you will practice or you will use the AWS for your personal use. And then what is the free tier usage and how to create the free tier and how to get this, how to, what are the certification models, what are the certifications available, how to get it, all those things, and the list of services given by AWS, all those things let us discuss in this section. So by this way you will get a clear understanding of AWS plus with its competitors. When compared to competitors, why we are going for this AWS is what you came to know. Okay, so let us discuss all those things in the day by day sessions. So tomorrow, let us start understanding this introduction to cloud computing. Tomorrow, I'll explain the rest of the course content. You can see it in our Durga Soft website as well. Once after this course content explanation is done, then let us start our AWS with the introduction to cloud computing. That's all from my side, folks. Now you can ask me the questions, whatever you have. Yeah, you can ask me the questions, whatever you have. I'm just reading through these comments you have done. Sumanta Bhattacharya, I might have given the answer about the static AP. Terraform, Terraform, Prometheus, that is what I already have covered, I believe, right? Meaning the course content is there with the Terraform, but not Terraform complete course. Terraform complete course itself will take a 45 days of time. So this Terraform, I have added here the Terraform, whichever the knowledge, whatever the knowledge is required for a DevOps engineer, till that I have added here. But Terraform itself is a huge concept, it's a separate course like your AWS. Entire Terraform understanding in a single session is not possible. So, but whatever the Terraform content is required for the automation, that content I was provided here. This is very good enough to start your interviews and then gain your interviews on the Terraform, and also very good enough to work with the um, automation, like whatever the projects we have nowadays. However, any questions?
Sir, is it Ansible or Chef?
It is Ansible, not Chef. Chef,
Okay,
proper reason why we are not going for the Chef and then the Nagios. So in the place of Chef, we will use Ansible. In the place of Nagios, we will use the Grafana and then Prometheus to monitor the applications. To monitor the, I'll explain
sure,
maybe
sir.
in
Thank
couple
you.
of minutes. Yeah. What's the difference between traditional apps versus the DevOps? How much experience would have gained after this course? Vishal, I already have told, but let me repeat this. Traditional ops versus DevOps. DevOps is a traditional apps will use the deployment process, right? ITL process they will use. ITL process. Traditional operation guys will use the ITL process. That ITL process, guys, can you please mute? You can ask your questions once after I'm done answering. Thank you. So traditional apps will use the ITL process, which is very, very delay in deploying the applications to the cloud because a lot of process involved there. So the application development will be very faster, but the application deployment is very slow to address that problem that DevOps will use. That is what. And then how much experience would I have gained after this course? So knowledge talking about. So the knowledge what you gain is up to the 5 years of experience guy have how much knowledge in automation, meaning DevOps tools, CI/CD pipeline configuration. That much of knowledge you will get if you properly follow me, properly practice since beginning. Okay, sir, we can work on Mac OS. No, actually, I will take the Ubuntu operating system, not Mac OS. Ubuntu operating system. Then some other have asked, we will have classes on weekend also. Saturday we will have the class, but Sunday no classes. No classes on Sunday. but Saturday we will have the class. And then will you provide the required softwares like Linux OS, Docker, Kubernetes? We are using the cloud, right? So we everything we will install in the cloud itself only. No need to keep any software in your local machine. Everything we will maintain inside the cloud only. We will download from the cloud repositories. No need to keep in your laptop downloading and then keeping in your laptop. No, not required. Everything we will set up in the cloud itself only by downloading the required softwares from the cloud repositories. Okay, so I no need to provide you the required softwares. Rather, we will discuss how we can set it up on the cloud. Right. If we learn this, can we also try GCP and parallel on our own? Yes, you can try. You can easily try GCP parallelly. Okay, that's all, folks. Hopefully, sir, can you tell me something about the jobs in market for DevOps? Yeah, definitely. Tomorrow, I will explain the DevOps job scopes, salaries, and all we will discuss tomorrow. Right? So, your new AWS 8 p.m. batches for 45 days. Here at DevOps with AWS, will you be covering the same topics? No, no. In the 8 p.m. AWS, whatever the course content is there, the same course content is also covering here, but DevOps is an extra here, right? DevOps with AWS DevOps with AWS will cover the same AWS concept that I am discussing at the 8 p.m. Sir, we have daily 1 hour class. Yes, we have daily 1 hour class plus 15 minutes of the general discussion. The general discussion may be your doubts, maybe doubts clarification, maybe any other. 1 hour is exactly the class. 15 minutes is the general discussion. So 1 hour, 15 minutes is our class time. Right. Thank you so much, folks. Sir, how depth is the Docker and Kubernetes? So Docker and Kubernetes, you will be able to crack the certifications. I will explain when the Docker and Kubernetes will come, what are all the certifications available and how to crack them. The concepts, whatever you will learn here, will be good enough to crack the Docker and Kubernetes certifications as well. So the beginner certifications we can easily crack. Any other questions?
Hi, sir.
Yes.
Actually, I'm 2015 passed out, sir.
Okay.
Yeah, present I'm working in manufacturing sector.
Okay.
Okay, I want to move to IT sector, sir.
Okay. So yes, definitely this DevOps will be the right course, but you have to do a lot of hard work, lot of practice you have to do every day because you are from the different background.
Yes.
Definitely this is the right course. You can opt for this.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Yeah. Okay, guys, see you tomorrow at the same time. That is 9 a.m. IST. And let us discuss more about our course tomorrow. And then I'll give the job scope and then job opportunities tomorrow. Thank you, guys. Thanks. In the responsibility of maintenance and then problem solving and then the open standards we can set up and then increase the project visibility through traceability. Nowadays the biggest problem that the performance engineers, DevOps engineers, security testing engineers are facing observability and traceability. The biggest problem is observability and traceability. I think this is the very beginning sessions, but I'm talking big words, but you just listen about those words. This is fact. Whenever you are attending the interview, you have to hear all these things. They will ask the question, being a DevOps engineer, how you have been maintained the traceability of the applications. What does it mean? What is the traceability? and what is the observability. So traceability meaning one application when talking to another application. So for example, let me showcase you this slide. In this slide, just let me go little down. No, here it is not. Let me open the one more slide. Just give me a moment. I would like to showcase you one thing. So in this slide, there were the microservices. See this account microservice, loans microservice, cards microservice. Now, what is happening here? Accounts microservice is deploying through one build job. Loans microservice is deploying through one build job. Cards microservice is deploying through one build job. Now, what will happen? A account will call the loans. Account will call the cards. Account application will call the loans application. Accounts application will call the cards application to see a person's account having the how many loans and then how many cards the person have. Now in this, the account application is talking to or calling this loans and then cards application, right? So we have to trace, like, from where the call started, where it went, and from there where it went, and again how it come back and how it come back. So the complete trace of the a particular operation we have to see. So for that we need to maintain the traceability tools. So we have the Jipkin and then the sleuth. Not only this, we have the various other traceability tools as well. So that traceability tools we will use and then we will monitor the applications. Monitoring is different, but the traceability is different. So traceability, Jipkin and then sleuth we will use. So that is as part of your session. Forget about water microservices now. This is the demo 3. Just forget about water microservices. Understand it as one application, just one application. Application meaning, for example, you are accessing your Facebook, Gmail, Google Drive, isn't it? Those are the applications. Forget about microservices now. So the applications, whatever need to communicate with other applications, isn't it? When you go to your net banking, when you log in your net banking, right? When you see your balance search, what is happening? It is pulling the accounts for you. You have a loan account, you have a credit card account. So which balance you would like to see? Just click on the credit card account, then it will show you the credit card balance. Click on the loan, it will show you the loan account and then the remaining balance to be paid. So that is how the applications will intercommunicate. So when the application to application communication will be there, how we will trace out that communication. So for that, we will use the Chipkin, Sleuth, and then other tools also we have in the market. But in our DevOps session course, we will use the Chipkin and then the Sleuth. So if you can see the final architecture, like the development architecture, final development architecture, what you have to deploy or what you have to automate is something like this. Let me just showcase Spring Boot microservices, content, not this, architectural flows. So cloud architecture. This is what the cloud architecture you guys have to build. See this cloud architecture how it is. You might now get a doubt, sir. Are we really able to build it? Why not? We definitely will be able to build it. So here if you can see, there is a Jipkin server. So this Jipkin server will have a nice GUI dashboard where we can see the applications to applications traceability or communication in a nice UI format. So if you can see, each and every application have a sleuth added here. The sleuth is the component which will take the all the metrics from the application and then give it to this Jipkin. So it is acting as an agent between the application and then the Jipkin server, right? Just we need to tell to this agent where is the Jipkin server is. That's it. So it will collect the metrics from here and then dump the metrics to this Jipkin server. This is what pure real time that you have to do in your DevOps with AWS course, because interviewers will ask you what are the complexities that you have faced and what are the ecosystem that you build and then released recently. So such questions when they will ask, if you tell them like I was automated the microservices architecture, if you tell them and if you justify what is microservices, how you automated it, what are the complexities complexities in it, and what are all the concepts you used. For example, multi-stage. In Jenkins we will use a multi-stage build pipeline. So in microservices, to deploy these microservices, we have to use multi-stage build pipeline. So being a DevOps engineer, now you have to know how to create the multi-stage build pipelines, right? So that is what the experience, that is what the real experience that you will get. I mean, the interviewer is expecting from you. So the days gone, like what is Maven, what is Git, what is Jenkins, those days gone. Now everyone is expecting the practical implementation knowledge or experience. So the questions they are asking is can only be answerable when you work on it. That's it. That is the way they are asking the questions. For example, if I ask you a question, what is pipeline as a code, and how we can achieve the multi-stage pipeline using this pipeline as a code? Whenever I ask this question, probably I was asked this question around 30 to 40 members, but only 5 to 6 members got given an answer which I will satisfy, which I was satisfied, right? They only 5 to 6 persons were given the answers which I was satisfied, and remaining persons got explained something which is somehow relevant and somehow irrelevant. Okay, so this is how the expectation of the market. So now, the what are the responsibilities that the DevOps engineer? Traceability is one of the biggest responsibility, like how we can increase the project visibility through the traceability. So you have to attach the traceability tools like Jipkin, Sleuth, and then the other tools, Upscrews, or some other tools were there. Paid tools, commercial tools, Datadog, which is commercial tool. So Datadog, Upscrews are commercial tools, and then the Jipkin, Sleuth are the open source tools. So you have to explain to the interviewer, or else if your application don't have the traceability and your manager asked you to add the traceability, then you should have a prior knowledge on it, right? Otherwise you may not be able to do that task. However, next, improve quality and reduce development cost with collaboration. So that is the next responsibility of a DevOps engineer. So we have to improve the quality of the application and reduce the development cost with collaboration. You have to talk to developers with the collaboration. Guys, can you please?
Hello, sir. Hello.
Yes. Yes.
So
Yes.
my
Yes. Go ahead, please.
so actually I joined actually this class after 20 minutes. So my question is, like you said, like DevOps engineer will reduce the cost of development. How is that possible, sir?
No, no. What that is what now I'm trying to explain.
Okay, okay, thanks.
Yeah. Okay. So now reduce the development cost with collaboration. What does it mean? Here development cost in the sense not in terms of money, development cost in the sense in terms of the time, not money, not the revenue or not money. Development cost in the sense that development time or the development resources time and then development resources availability. So improve quality. For example, here is the pipeline that we have. This is the pipeline that we have. So in this pipeline, assume the build is failing because of the test cases were not passed successfully. Earlier, what we used to do, we used to take a big screenshot. We used to write an email to the developers, entire development team. So this is the issues we are getting in production, or maybe the build is not success. While I'm trying to release a build to the production, the build is not success. So a lot of information we have attached, and then we will send an email. Don't know when the developer or when the development team will look at it, because they are usually busy in the development. So we usually wait for their reply, right? So that is what wastage of the time. Rather, you directly talk to them, go and then collaborate with them. If you have his mobile number, talk to him. If you has you both are sitting together in the team, yes, go ahead and then talk to the development team. No formalities, make the work as improved as with the quality. No formalities, sending an email is just a formality, just as a proof. The people will send the email for the proof of, if something happened later in time, they can showcase this as a proof. Yes, send an email, but don't wait for the developer's response. Go there and then talk to them first, right? So that is what the reducing the development cost, meaning here the reducing development cost in the sense what? For example, in order to write the test cases, or in order to automate the test cases, or assume, in order to quality, improve the quality of the code, maybe we will assign the developers, right, who will follow the coding standards and then write the code, right? So that might increase the development cost by adding the resources. So we have the tools which will perform the application quality checking, and if the quality is not good, then we can revert it back to the developers. So just for quality checking, no need to hire any engineer. So we can do it through the tool. So that is where we can reduce the development cost in terms of the time, in terms of the resource allocations. Got it? End users will access it. So now who is facing the issues? These end users are facing the issues, isn't it? They have downloaded the application from the Play Store for a while, assume, and then they are trying to log into the system, but they are facing the issues, login issues or registration issues. So being a DevOps engineer, first you should be analyze where the issue is coming. Is it coming inside the pipeline? Because we are deploying the application as a Kubernetes application. So DevOps engineer should have a good problem solving skill on the Kubernetes. That means a good understanding of the Kubernetes. And if any issues are coming inside this Kubernetes, meaning if our application is facing issues in the Kubernetes cluster, we should be able to solve it. Assume there are famous exceptions which are coming in the Kubernetes. Ask in your interview also, they will ask back image pull off, back image pull off. So when I was interview, when I was definitely asked this question, what is the back image pull off status meaning? This question I will definitely ask them. Assume this exception we got in this Kubernetes cluster. So being a DevOps engineer, you should be able to solve the problem why this back image pull off exception is coming. So that is what the solving skill that the DevOps engineer should have, but not the data structures, or not the coding or nothing, because being a DevOps engineer, we never touch the code. We don't want anything with the code. We don't want to do anything with the code.
Sir, I
Altogether,
have a
what
doubt, sir.
we will do, whatever the code that the yes, go ahead, please.
Sir,
Go ahead.
back image pull off and is different from image pull back off.
Both are same actually. Maybe I was written it as a type image, back yeah, no, actually image back pull off, this is the right word. So image back pull off,
Image
so
pull
the
back
right
off.
word, this is the right word, correct. Image pull back off, image pull back off. So this is the issue we will get, correct. Image pull back off is the right word. So this is the issue we will get, right, in the Kubernetes cluster when the image is downloading is probably not correct. Our image downloaded maybe to execute that image, the relevant permissions or relevant data is not there. So the reason with the images which are not able to run in this Kubernetes cluster will get this exception, image pullback of. And then sometimes here we also will get the 401, 401 uh, access denied, access denied, and we will get 403 unauthorized. These are the exceptions that we will get, famous exceptions that we will get inside the Kubernetes clusters. So being a DevOps engineer, we should be able to solve these issues. For example, 401, 403 related to image pull secrets. There is a concept called image pull secrets, right? So you have to know the concept of this one, then you will be able to solve the problems. That is the meaning of this DevOps engineer problem solving skills, right? So manage a project effectively through open standards based platforms. So meaning manage project effectively through open and standards based platform. For example, here if we can take the project should have to be first verified through the quality gate. And here we also can add the code coverage tools. Of course, the Sonar Cube contains the code coverage tools. For example, if we can take the Python applications or Java applications, there is a tool called this Kobachura. This Kobachura tool will give us the code coverage for the Python applications, Java applications, and all. So being a DevOps engineer, this Kobachura is what we have to set up in our pipeline somewhere here. So then what will happen once the code is building or the code has been built successfully, the code will be tested against this code coverage. Code coverage meaning, for example, developer were written 10 lines of code. That 10 lines of code is executing or not. Assume out of 10 lines or if only 4 lines executed. So it is just a 40%. So our build won't success. It should have to execute at least 8 lines or at least 6 lines or 7 lines. So then the build will become as a success. Such a tools, enterprise standard, industry standard tools we have to apply and then make sure the qualitative build will be released to the end users. So this is the responsibility of the DevOps engineer. This is one of the responsibility of the DevOps engineer. Likewise, if you can see the in increase
Excuse
of
me, sir, a small doubt for me.
guys, can you please
Sorry to
go?
interrupt you.
Yes, yes.
Sir, sir, actually, how this DevOps can be linked to a cyber security, sir? Because I am working as cyber security analyst now. So how can be this linked, sir?
Okay,
This both?
okay. Okay, so cyber security mean probably you will do the network level security, right? Maybe um,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. DLP, data
maybe
loss prevention.
vulnerabilities. So
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
vulnerabilities will be detected. OSP tools you will use. Yes. So here,
Yes, sir.
what we have to do, so here we have to integrate this pipeline with the these OASP tools kind, because the code once it is done, code once it
Okay.
is building, we have to analyze the code, like are there any vulnerabilities in the code. For example, the code has been written in such a way, or else the application is already built. Assume after application build, we have to perform the security testing here, which will gives us the results, like file uploading is happening, but file uploading is happening from anywhere. It should not be happening from the authorized devices, or
Okay.
maybe the cross protocol sharing is not possible, cars issues, such a
Okay.
issues, or maybe mm, PSRF issues, right? Cross site
Okay.
security issues. So those
Yes, sir.
issues we have to check here after the code build is happened. So OASP tools integration here we have to do, and then perform the security testing along with the application functional testing.
Okay, sir. Okay.
Got it?
Thank you, sir. Got. Thank you, sir.
Fine. Yeah, thanks. Yeah, okay. Fine. Now, what we can do in our next responsibility? What is our next responsibility? So we have taken the responsibility of maintenance, and then problem solving, and then the open standards we can set up, and then increase the project visibility through traceability. Nowadays, the biggest problem that the performance engineers, DevOps engineers, security testing engineers are facing, observability and traceability. The biggest problem is observability and traceability. I think this is the very beginning sessions, but I'm talking big words, but you just listen about those words. This is fact. Whenever you are attending the interview, you have to hear all these things. They will ask the question, being a DevOps engineer, how you have been maintain the traceability of the applications. What does it mean? What is the traceability? And what is the observability? So traceability meaning one application when talking to another application. So for example, let me showcase you this slide. In this slide, just let me go little down. No, here it is not. Let me open the one more slide. Just give me a moment. I would like to showcase you one thing. So in this slide, there were the microservices. See this: account microservice, loans microservice, cards microservice. Now, what is happening here? Accounts microservice is deploying through one build job. Loans microservice is deploying through one build job. Cards microservice is deploying through one build job. Now, what will happen? A account will call the loans. Account will call the cards. Account application will call the loans application. Accounts application will call the cards application to see a person's account having the how many loans and then how many cards the person have. Now in this, the account application is talking to or calling this loans and then cards application, right? So we have to trace, like from where the call started, where it went, and from there where it went, and again how it come back and how it come back. So the complete trace of the a particular operation we have to see. So for that, we need to maintain the traceability tools. So we have the Jipkin and then the sleuth. Not only this, we have the various other traceability tools as well. So that traceability tools we will use and then we will monitor the applications. Monitoring is different, but the traceability is different. So for the traceability, Jipkin and then sleuth we will use. So that is as part of your session. Forget about water microservices now. This is the demo 3. Just forget about water microservices. Understand it as one